Appeals Court refuses to delay Trump sentencing in hush money case. By Kayla Epstein, BBC News, reporting from New York. A New York appeals court has denied Donald Trump's 11-hour bid to delay his Friday sentencing in his felony hush money case. Lawyers for the president-elect sought to overrule the lower court judge overseeing the case, who had ordered Trump to appear for sentencing on January 10th, this Friday. The appeals court issued its decision just minutes after holding an emergency hearing on Tuesday. Earlier this week, Justice Juan Merchan said the sentencing would proceed as Trump's arguments against it are, for the most part, a repetition of the arguments he has raised numerous times in the past. In court filings, Trump's attorneys argued that they sought a dismissal of the politically motivated prosecution that was flawed from the very beginning. Trump was found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in May, making him the first former president and president-elect to be convicted of crime, if you consider it that. If you consider him a convict. Defendants' motion for a stay of the proceedings, including the sentencing hearings scheduled for January 10, 2025, is hereby denied, Juan Merchan wrote in his decision on Monday. The charges stem from Trump's attempt to disguise allegedly reimbursement for a $130,000 hush money payment to an adult film star as legal expenses. Trump pleaded not guilty and denied any wrongdoing. His lawyers said that filing an appeal should halt the criminal proceedings in his New York case. The sentencing had been delayed by the 2024 presidential election and Trump's attempt to have the case thrown out based on a claim of presidential immunity. Juan Merchan ultimately rejected the immunity argument in December. On January 3rd, Justice Merchan issued an order saying he would move ahead with the sentencing before Trump takes office on January 20th, but indicated he would issue a sentence of unconditional discharge, which means no prison, fine, or probation. Juan Merchan ordered Trump to appear virtually or in person for the hearing. Steve Chong, spokesman for the presidential transition of Donald Trump, reiterated his argument that the prosecution was unlawful. He said in a statement, the American people elected President Trump with an overwhelming mandate that demands the immediate end to the political weaponization of our justice system and all of the remaining witch hunts. Trump's team had not publicly commented on whether the president-elect will be in court this Friday. But in response on Monday afternoon to the request for a stay, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office referred to the defendant's decision to appear for sentencing virtually instead of in person. The reference to a virtual hearing was repeated several pages later again. In the response, the district attorney asked the judge to deny Trump's request for an immediate stay of his sentencing and argued that he would not be prejudiced by a decision. The weeks after the election featured a flurry of legal filings from both Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who brought the case, and Trump's legal team. Bragg's office previously indicated that they would oppose delaying Trump's sentencing until after he finishes his term in office 4 years from now. But after Justice Merchan decided to move ahead with the sentencing, Bragg asked the judge to proceed with the sentencing on Friday. However, the judge left the door open to further Trump legal challenges, writing that he must be permitted to avail himself to every other available appeal. And now to the 2025 United States Electoral College vote count. The count of the Electoral College ballots during a joint session of the 119th United States Congress pursuant to the Electoral Count Act and the Electoral Count Reform and Presidential Transition Improvement Act of 2022 on January 6, 2025 was held as the final step that confirmed President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance's victory in the 2024 presidential election over Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the most recent incumbent vice president since Al Gore in 2001 that presided over an electoral vote count in which they were a losing candidate on the ballot. The final tally was 312 votes in 31 states carried, plus Maine's 2nd congressional district in favor of Trump, and 226 electoral votes, 19 states plus D.C. and Nebraska's 2nd congressional district in favor of Kamala Harris. The 2025 Speaker of the United States House of Representatives election took place on January 3, 2025, on the opening day of the 119th United States Congress, 2 months after the 2024 election for the United States House of Representatives. This was the 130th Speaker of the House election since the office was created in 1789. The incumbent Speaker, Republican Mike Johnson of Louisiana, was reelected on the first ballot, defeating Hakeem Jeffries with a slim 218 to 215 majority. Johnson, who had replaced Kevin McCarthy in October 2023 after McCarthy was removed from the position by a discharge led by former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, was initially expected to lose on the first ballot, as several Republican congressmen told major news outlets they had no intention to vote for him. Ultimately, on the opening day of the 119th Congress, 3 Republicans, Thomas Massie, Ralph Norman, Keith Self, voted against Johnson, while all Democrats voted for Jeffries. Thus, Johnson had initially fallen short of the 218-vote majority. However, shortly before the vote was finalized, the vote was suspended, and by the time they came back to resume the vote, House Clerk Kevin McCumber re-announced the votes, and Norman and Self switched their votes to Johnson, which gave Johnson the majority to secure the speakership. So those are the events leading up to Donald Trump's inauguration. His inauguration is set for Monday, January 20th, 2025. In 2 weeks, he will be the 47th President of the United States. And J.D. Vance will be the 50th President of the United States. Let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about Donald Trump becoming the next president and J.D. Vance the next Vice President of the United States? Whether you agree or disagree with the way the processes went, and do you accept the election results? If you like this video, if you found this video helpful and informative, please like, comment, and subscribe. It will help push this video past the algorithm and get the videos where it needs to go. With that being said, take care, peace,